Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, coming to you from the Campbell's Custom Care Studio.
Motorhead Garage is presented by DragonfireTools.com. Just take a look at this beautiful 1964 Chevrolet Impala SS. Incredibly restored, and I tell you, this thing looks just like it did when it rolled off the assembly line and rolled down Main Street cruising in 1964. Now, we all know cruising just isn't cruising without some good music. And if you're doing a restoration or a build, you have a few different options in regards to the stereo. Now, you can buy an aftermarket stereo that has great sound, but it won't look the part. That thing's going to stick out like a sore thumb on your vintage dash. And you can try to find an original radio, and good luck finding one that works or one you can afford. And to boot, it probably won't sound that great because it's using old technology. What's more, you won't have the conveniences you're used to, like Bluetooth, the ability to play your MP3 player or a CD or satellite radio or anything like that. But you can have it all with custom Autosound, a modern stereo that looks great and looks just like a vintage analog radio from the 1960s. This particular unit is a USA 630. Of course, it has Bluetooth capabilities, and it has 300 watts of peak power, which should be all you need. This thing fits right in your dash with no modifications, and it comes with a bezel or a trim piece with your car or truck's manufacturer's logo. You can see the Chevy logo right there. It looks great. Now, custom Autosound has been around for nearly 50 years, almost as long as this Impala. These things are durable, high-quality units that are made to last, and that's because every custom Autosound model undergoes extreme temperature testing, a temperature aging test, and, super important in a muscle car, a vibration test. Before it leaves the factory, each custom Autosound radio is hand-inspected and adjusted by a technician. Custom Autosound covers 400 plus makes and models. They have an amazing array of radios and speakers made to fit your vehicle and made to fit your budget. That's important too. There's 4 different models of in-dash radios, including the slide bar radio. And with the slide bar radio, you get a radio that looks just like an old analog radio when it's turned off. And when you slide the bar, you get a digital display that allows you to control every function of your radio, just like a modern radio. If you have a street rod or a classic and you want to leave the original radio in the dash, the secret audio radio is just for you. That unit hides usually under the seat or behind the dash, and you get your Bluetooth, AM, FM radio, iPod control, CD control, and it integrates perfectly with your speaker system. No one will even know it's there. Now, by the way, I mentioned speakers. Custom Autosound has speakers too, and just like their radios, their speakers are made to match your car's style or to hide under a seat if you want to keep the vehicle's original looks. Custom Autosound makes units for over 400 different makes and models. I guarantee you, they're going to have one that looks great in your car or truck. You can find them at CustomAutosound.com. And hey, look over there. There's everybody's favorite professor, John Gardner.
Here's the scenario. You're sitting at the stoplight and your brake pedal slowly going to the floor. Not a good thing. You know, when it comes to your brakes and all your fluids, peace of mind is key. Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. We're talking about the brakes and the master cylinder. Let's start out with the basics. There's 2 types of systems. Since 1967, we had to split them up. What do? Well, we have a longitudinally split system. Now, that's either your front wheels are on one system and your rear wheels are on the other system. Now, the other one, that's a diagonally split system. That means that the right front is paired together with the left rear, and the left front is paired together with the right rear. Now, what's going on in those 2 channels? Well, let's take a look inside this master cylinder right here. You can see it. There's 2 different chambers. This is the high pressure chamber, and this is the low pressure chamber. So you have a primary piston and a primary seal, and this is the high pressure chamber. You have a secondary piston, and you have a primary seal and a secondary seal. Now, the primary seals is what we're worried about when it starts to go to the floor. What's happening is this high pressure chamber and this high pressure chamber is filled up with pressure, and it's actually bleeding by the seal into the low pressure chamber, hence that pedal slowly going to the floor. So what do you need to do? Well, you have to replace your brake master cylinder and then go ahead and flush the system. Now, to do that, I'm going to give you a tech tip. You always want to bench bleed that master cylinder. How do you do it? It's real simple. Just take some lines, go ahead and string them up into the master cylinder, and then you can start bench bleeding it. I can show it to you right here in action. You just push in and out on it. Once you're doing that, you're getting all the bubbles and all the air out of those chambers I just showed you. Why do you want to do that? So you don't send them all down the line. Keep bleeding it till all the bubbles are gone. Now, when it comes to brakes, Len, peace of mind is key. Fluids too. You guys are all about peace of mind at AMSOIL.
Yeah, that's correct. We look at the equipment and what its appetite, if you will, is for product itself, and then we adjust the formulary to suit those needs. So fuel additives, you know, you're looking for deposits. For engine oils, you know, we adjust it based on what it's going into. If it's a motorcycle, we're looking at clutch performance. I mean, we're always looking at general protection, but we like to adjust and adapt to that particular piece of equipment's needs. So peace of mind is big in AMSOIL.
Now, you're not just a pretty face. I mean, you're also involved with this testing. You guys build engines and you do some rigorous testing.
That's correct. I'm directly involved with some of the testing, pick your product, and we test the heck out of it. We put it in situations that your average person is never going to put it in to be sure that the oil is performing as we describe.
Now, I said earlier, peace of mind is key. So if you want that peace of mind, just go to AMSOIL.com.
We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com, so keep it locked here.